everyone, welcome back to the Anime Iceberg. I'm Megan,
And I'm Meg.
and today we are talking about Dr. Stone Episode 7, where 2 million years have gone.
In this episode, Kohaku shows Senku to her village, but it's going to take some convincing before they let him in. In the meantime, he makes friends with a like-minded, promising sorcerer.
Yes, and this covers manga chapter 17, Nasty Looks, 18, Sorcery Showdown, and 19, 2 million years of being.
How was your week? Anything exciting?
Not much, except I started a new manga project. It's a personal solo project, and we'll see what I do with it, but I might, do the Viz submission, like just to try my luck before we
Mm-hmm.
do ours to see how it works when we eventually get to ours.
Yeah.
Um, and I'm not going to say too much about the story, but the two characters that are original characters of mine that I'm featuring in the short 5 pages for the submission, their names are Asher and Luca.
Ooh, I like those names.
Yeah. Actually, Luca's a girl because I found out that it's a gender neutral name. And I'm like,
Ooh,
I'm using that.
sweet.
And how was
Yes.
your week? Or what are you up to?
I am honestly, this week wasn't super exciting. I mostly spent the week writing my paper. Um, but I had my committee meeting today, which is for like basically the group of faculty who oversee your dissertation, and they officially gave me permission to write my dissertation, which is like the last step before you actually defend your PhD. So very excited about that. And yeah, but now I gotta do a bunch of writing, which
Yeah.
is it's mixed feelings. In one sense, I'm like, I don't like just to like sit and write is gets kind of boring, but also I literally have been doing experiments nonstop for like 4 months, so I'm like, maybe it's time to sit down and write.
Yeah. Get excited.
Yeah, I just gotta like remind myself, like, do it for Senku. He'd be so proud of me. Dude, that guy would have like 5 PhDs. Let's be honest.
That guy wouldn't sleep. I mean,
No.
he was chugging like either Monster, yeah, it was Monster in like when we see him in the normal world. So like,
Yeah,
I'm not sure if he ever sleeps.
100%. He needs someone to watch out for him. He needs Taiju, and he's very high to be like, "Hey, buddy, take breaks.
Yeah.
Hey, buddy." So
Taiju just Taiju just punches him to make him fall asleep.
perfect. And he's like, "I don't hurt people, but this is helping him, so it's okay."
And Yusuriha just knits a blanket and puts it over Senku.
Oh my gosh, she would though. Okay, let's get into this episode. Um, so we left off Senku saving Kohaku from the tree, and this is like right after Kohaku says, "I think I'm really like
Taking
you."
quite a liking to you.
Yes, yes. And Senku is very concerned. He's like, "We just met. You can't be in love with me." And Kohaku is like, "No, I like you as a person, you idiot."
Yeah,
That's
this one, okay. I get where Kohaku is coming from. The thing is, though, the way she smiled at the end of the last episode made me think, oh no. And I had the same reaction of Senku, where he's like, oh, because I didn't want it to be like the first girl you meet syndrome, you know?
mm,
Um, I also liked his line in the manga. He said, sheesh, annoying crap like that makes me want to curl up and die.
amazing.
Yep.
He's our guy.
And I think in the manga too, what it was translated that Kohaku said was, I believe I've fallen for you quite hard, which can be definitely taken as
Mm,
romantic,
yeah.
which again, she didn't mean.
No, she did not. And after they get past that mix up, I feel like right away you know they're gonna be good friends. They have some great great banter. He immediately starts calling her, first he calls her a lioness, and then later on a gorilla, and she does not appreciate it, but
I like that he calls her a gorilla, but first later on we'll see why.
yeah, and then we find out that she's out here collecting hot spring water to bring back to her sister. Um, and she's gonna bring Senku to her village to meet all the people. And Senku's very excited because he's gonna build his kingdom of science, which is
And
the
that's
first
the
time
Yep,
they
that's a
name drop it.
recurring name.
Yes. And then we get this again, like we know they're gonna be great friends. We get this great little montage of them trying to bring the water back to the to the village, and first Senku tries to carry it back, and he's such a weak bean. Can't do
He's
it.
got no muscle. I
No.
like this scene though because it speaks to both of their characters. Kohaku is trying to carry the water jug, but she's still a little shaky after her ordeal. So Senku is a gentleman and is like, "Hey, I can't have you croak. Why don't I carry it for you?" And he's trying to do the right thing here, but he takes two steps and drops it. And he's like, "Am I the only one who isn't an absolute beast in this world?"
I love that he said that because I was like, why is everyone just a tank? But I mean, like Yuzuri has not, but
No, we'll
like
meet other
everybody else
characters who
that
aren't
we,
either.
yeah, but like everyone we met so far has been like, dude, why are you so strong? Um, and then Senku does what Senku does best, and he builds them like a car
Like
kind
a
of thing.
Matchbox car.
Yeah, and they ride it down the hill and then crash it.
Yes, I need to insert this too, which it's really cool because he built the little Matchbox car out of the pulley things he had already built. And Kohaku is so impressed. She's like, I can't believe you whipped this up so fast. And basically he says progress gives rise to more progress. I just reused some of the parts that we already had on hand.
Yes, and that is a very recurring theme in Dr. Stone that we can talk about more later because it
Yes.
sometimes seems like everything just like why is all this stuff just magically appearing? But I don't know, this line they like build the foundation right here
Hmm.
in this episode in episode 7. But we'll get into that more later. Um and then he sees the village for the first time and he's so excited because he's
Yes.
like, look at all my worker bees.
Yes, and if you want to know, there is a whole yearbook photo spread
Oh my
page in the
goodness.
manga that has we have Kohaku, Genbu, Hagane, Carbo, Titan, Suika, Sho, Alabaster, Dia, Sengo, Umo, Suzu, Beryl, Argo, Magma, Ruri, Kokyo, Mantle, Tetskin, Natri, Seigen, Chrome, Zura, Ruby, Sapphire, Kujaku, Shovel, En, Illumi, Kinro, Shirogane, Jasper, Turquoise, an unnamed man with an X-shaped scar on his forehead. Uh, Ginro, Kasaki, Gainen, Namari, Chalk, and Garnet.
So it's time to go to the village. But the two guards, which we learn, are Ginro and Kinro, which means I think their names mean like silver and gold.
Yep.
Um, they won't let him in because he is not one of them. And he I think he like he tries to scare them by making bubbles with his soap.
It's
Um
sorcery.
yes. But then we get this character who makes, I would say, like the most ridiculous entrance ever. Like
It's my boy.
just like there's no need to fear and like I know exactly what's going on.
Got a cape billowing in the
And he's
wind.
yeah, and he just like gets rid of the bubbles or like pops them. And
Yes, and this is the person that Kohaku wanted especially to introduce Senku to when they went to the village because she's like, he's a sorcerer just like you. Um, and she introduces him as being the most easygoing of us all.
yes, and Senku is very excited. He's like, yes, I can work with this. This guy seems very excited about he calls sorcery, but it's science.
Yeah, I mean,
Um,
he knows how Senku made the bubbles. Like, he lists the ingredients to make it, to make
hmm
the soap, I mean.
yeah. Yeah. And it's I don't know, this whole scene rewatching it, I was laughing a lot because he's so much. He's just a lot. Um
Honestly, I think he does get better as the like his introduction is just really flashy and he keeps his
mhm.
personality, but it's not as overbearing as the
Yeah.
episodes go on.
Yeah, no, it definitely like but this was just like because we have seen the whole show and then just like rewatching this, I'm like, whoa, this is just a lot. But it's great. He challenges Senku to a sorcery battle and he makes rainbow flames basically by just throwing different things in the fire. And he was so funny. He called it, he's like, Rainbow Bridge. And then just like, it's awesome. And then Senku is just like, totally, he like explains how you did, you threw salt and then you threw copper and then you threw sulfur. And Chrome is shocked. Um,
Yeah. Oh, we didn't say his
and
name was Chrome, I don't think. The
oops.
mysterious sorcerer's name is Chrome, which is like the most awesome name ever. Before we even watched the show, I kind of saw like some of the character names. I was like, Chrome. Dang, that's awesome.
Yeah,
I bet he's
oops,
really
yeah.
tough.
In some ways. Um, And then he also has this sulfur ball that he creates static. Oh my gosh, my brain. Uh
He like
he
touches
like
Ginro's
yeah,
nose and
he
shocks him,
generates
I think.
he generates static electricity. And then Senku does it too, but like what is
His
he
science flag,
he
right?
uses leather
Yeah, yeah.
and like
And his
generates
hair
way
is
more and his
just
hair like
standing up on
goes
him.
crazy and Chrome is like loses his mind. It's like what's happening? And then he's like, "No, I'm not gonna lose to you." And so he challenges Senku to a math battle. We don't see it in the anime, but he loses utterly. Um, and I love the after the battle, we get like shed of science and Chrome acquired.
Yes.
Um,
Because Chrome
and
did say, if you win, myself and all I have, you can do with us as you please.
hmm and I just Senku is so excited. Like he's like a kid on Christmas Day and Christmas morning. He's like, "You have this, you have this. How did you collect all this stuff? Like this is amazing."
He even finds a philosopher's stone, which I I definitely appreciated that because I mean it's Alphonse Elric's original voice actor, so he
hmm
finally found it.
Dude, there's like so many already. There's been multiple
Yeah.
Full Metal references. Um, so funny.
I think Aaron
Uh,
Dismuke actually said in an interview, I think I heard him say, "Did you know we actually found the Philosopher's Stone in Doctor Stone?"
that's great. And Senku, after he acquires all of Chrome's, he acquires a science shed, he tries to again get into the village by bribing. Okay,
Uh,
seriously, I cannot remember which one is which.
Kinro. Kinro's the older one, and
Okay,
his name means gold.
yeah, so he tries to bribe Kinro by making a gold tip spear, but this man is very serious and he will not be bribed.
The rules
Um,
are the rules.
yes. And in kind of the last part of the episode, Senku and Chrome, well, actually first we see Kohaku finally bring the water to her sister, whose name is Ruri, and she is the high priestess of the village.
Yeah, they call her
Um,
shamaness in the manga.
okay.
Yeah. She
Yeah.
doesn't really do any magic though, so I like
No, I
the
don't really understand the
priestess thing
title,
better.
but yeah. Um, this is where we find out that she is very sick, which Kohaku kind of already said earlier, but we see she's really not doing so hot. Um, then we learn about a little bit more Chrome and why he's been collecting all of this stuff is because Rory is sick and he's trying to help her.
Yeah.
Um,
I thought that was really impressive though, because like Senku noticed that he had a lot of herbs that are usually used for what like Chinese healing practices or something. And Chrome admitted he's like, "Oh, I only keep the stuff I've tried on myself. So he's experimented on himself, which
Mm-hmm.
that takes some guts to do.
Yeah. Yeah. And this is when Senku decides to tell Chrome all about the modern world. And
Yes.
so he tells him about everything, and I think he probably breaks Chrome's brain.
That was kind
Um,
of cool. I love how excited Crumb got.
he
And then
was.
after he calmed down from that though, he was crying because he's like, I can't believe we lost all of that. And Senku, I think it's really cute, but in the manga he calls Crumb Bud and he's like, it's in you too, bud. You've like it's not gone. Like I've got the memories of this stuff and you've got like that spirit of like continuing human civilization within you. So we're gonna bring everything back. Don't worry.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep, and that's when they decide they're gonna make antibiotics to save Ruri.
Yes.
They have their next mission.
I was really excited that this was the next mission. Like I was really curious about how the process was going to look like.
Yeah. Yeah, and we will get into that in a later episode.
Yeah, that's the end of this episode. But going back in time to what we said about Senku versus Chrome in their mathematics battle, that actually is a bonus chapter in the manga. So it's side story Chrome versus Senku arithma battle. And Chrome starts with something easy like 8 times 8, and both Senku and Kohaku are able to guess it. And Kohaku's like, oh, yeah, I can like count rows and columns and stuff when I'm hunting for schools of fish. So it's like a practical thing. And then Chrome fires back with 83 times 87, and Senku effortlessly answered it, 7,221. And he's like explaining he used that trick in math where you like multiply the ones or like you multiply the places differently and can do it in your head easier,
Mm-hmm.
like the quick solve method. And so Chrome is utterly stumped by Senku, and it's I don't know. I'm just glad that the mangaka included that. It also has a lot of really weird facial expressions from Chrome, which he excels at.
Mm-hmm.
I love
Yes.
this kid.
That is like one thing about this show is that if you this cannot be like the one of the first shows you watch because it just the facial expressions and on just like the way they present the humor is
Yes.
just it's so much. It's
It's
a
really
lot.
funny, but you have to be used to the medium in order to appreciate it.
Mm. Yeah.
And I think Chrome's facial expressions can be pushed more because I'm not sure if you noticed with his character design, his Cupid's bow is actually kind of more pronounced. So like it
Mm.
means like when his lips part or when he does anything with his mouth, you can really see more of like how he's moving it and what his
Oh,
expression is like.
interesting. Huh. Yeah, I feel like this episode was very much like full force goofy faces.
Yeah,
Just
for Chrome's
utter
introduction. Yes.
ridiculousness. Yeah,
Yes.
but it's great.
Yep, and some other bonus things I've got. We are on volume 3, so I have to read the author and artist, intros. So Inagaki says, I may be the writer, but I can't do any of this on my own. The series is a product of a lot of hard work from a lot of people. Senku starts gathering his own group of friends in this volume, and with their help, he's able to create all sorts of things. This picture above, and he has a picture in the forward, is my attempt to make a certain one of those things. It tasted, let's just say, interesting. And I guess I can't say what that food may be until we get to that part. But and then the artist, Boichi, I still don't know if I'm saying that quite right, says, when I was little, I'd wake up every morning, run to the calendar, and wait for my mom. We never had enough paper, so when mom would rip each day's page off the calendar, I'd use it to draw. One day of each month was marked by an extra large page, which meant a jumbo-sized drawing. I have a series in Jump getting a graphic novel release, but I don't take credit for that. I chalk it up to the power of manga. To that 5-year-old with nothing more than calendar pages to draw on, Jump shone bright as a beacon telling me that I too could become a mangaka someday.
That's very sweet.
It is, and a testament to how hard he's worked to get here.
Mm-hmm.
Another bonus you might find interesting. It's a Mecha Senku bonus. Says Kinro and Ginro are brothers, right? Who are their parents? And Senku says, this concerns familial relations in the village, right? As some connections may be yet unknown, ongoing analysis is underway. But we got Kokyo, his daughters are Kohaku and Ruri, and then Sho is married to Sengo, Natri is married to Illumi, and they have a son, Karbo, who's married to Beryl. Tetskin and Shirogane are married and have Kinro and Ginro. Alabaster and Dia are married and have Garnet, Sapphire, and Ruby. And Sagan and En are married and have Ganon. We don't know all of these guys yet, but just
Yeah, I
cool.
feel like a lot of them we barely meet. Wow, they get way more of like attention in the manga.
Well, I mean, we still don't know some very important familial relations that I want to know, but
Yeah.
maybe. I mean,
Yeah.
family is important in the show, as we will find out. And then another Mecha Senku Q&A. How did everyone do in school? Senku says, the villagers do not have anything resembling an educational institution, but were they to start one, I've constructed this diagram of the respective intelligences. So, Senku would be the most intelligent, or not, maybe not most intelligent. It says, how good would their grades be? I should put that in there. Senku would have the best grades, closely followed by Tsukasa and Chrome, who are at the same level, apparently. Yuzuriha would not be far behind. And then Kinro and Kohaku would be like average. Ginro would be below Kinro, and Taiji would be dead last.
Yep, that I think is very accurate. Yeah, no, honestly, Tsukasa just like based on the things that he has like noticed and like he like knows
He figures
when
things out real
yeah,
fast.
figures out things out really quick and he's very intelligent.
Yep. Yeah, and I guess we can head on to the next section, which is introducing a voice actor. So we gotta go with our boy Chrome. He is voiced by Matt Shipman, who is married to Yuzuriha's voice actress, which is super cool because I think I heard somewhere that they were high school sweethearts. They were both involved in theater and stuff. So cute. Also follow him on Instagram if you want to get the most adorable cartoon, like in his story. Like every day he'll post a little cartoon, like little Kirby's or something.
Cute.
And he is known for being Flock Forster in Attack on Titan, Reki Kayan in Skate the Infinity, and Inasa Yorashi in My Hero Academia. Chrome and Reki are basically the same character.
Oh, 100%. And then you got Flock, who's like so far.
But isn't that cool that he got to play a villain?
Yes, it is. He does a great job, but
So hateable.
right? I think he's probably in Attack on Titan. He might be the character that I hate the most. I'm trying to think if there's other people that I hate just as much.
I hate some of the Marleyan soldiers who were just like, let's sacrifice these people.
Oh, yeah, those people suck.
The worst.
Yeah. But Flock is like one that we like actually know. So
Yeah, we love to hate them. Anyway. Chrome's birthday is February 4th, so 24. 24 is the atomic number of chromium. And chromium is a very resilient material, which I think reflects Chrome a lot.
Yeah. I agree. Even though we don't know him that well, but yet. Okay, tracking. Senku said get excited once.
Yes, and I finally get to do my tracking this time because Chrome has been introduced and he has a catchphrase, that's bad. And just to clarify, I'm only counting when he says like that's bad or that is bad because if I counted every time he said bad, it would be like hundreds and I can't do it. Besides, it's a catchphrase, not a catchword. So he says that's bad 2 times.
Awesome.
I also thought it would be important to discuss how this episode turned a famous shonen anime trope on its head. So rivals are a big thing in shonen anime. Like in Black Clover, you got Yuna versus Asta, even though they're friendly rivals. Like Haikyuu, Hinata versus Kageyama, which changes later to like Karasuno versus, pick your team of the week. And like, yeah, Sasuke versus Naruto, etc. But I like how Chrome introduces himself fully intending to be Senku's rival. And like after he gets beat, I was like, oh no, is he gonna be one of those like bitter rivals, or is he gonna learn to love Senku? Is this gonna be a long road? But no, immediately he's like, yeah, I'm gonna stick with this guy. He's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. Very much. That's totally what I thought too. I was like, they're gonna like be enemies, and it's like, nope, actually, they're gonna be best buds.
Yeah, I was hoping so because like, well, Chrome's featured in the intro song pretty heavily, so he's always
Hmm.
like opposite Senku, and I don't know, seeing his character design, I love his little headband, so I was like, man, I want to love this character. He's got such a friendly looking design.
Hmm. Yeah.
Spoiler, he's my favorite character.
Shocker.
Okay, next section. So we wanted to discuss, did you collect anything as a kid? Like Chrome collects rocks.
No, I didn't really collect anything. Well, actually, you reminded me. I did collect snow globes. I collected things from like when my family would go on vacations because we would always get like a little bit of. They're like, okay, you have this much to buy souvenirs with, and so I'd always
Yeah,
like buy snow globes, and I bought like some bells and stuff like that, and that I. So I
yeah.
guess I could say I collected those.
I collected snow globes too. Um, I guess I was kind of thinking about like, I was trying
Actually,
to think,
I just remembered something that I did collect.
okay.
Uh, Puppies, like stuffed animals. I seriously, I
Oh,
had so many. I had
oh
so
yeah,
many.
you still got two of them. The
Yeah.
orange,
Yeah,
they're
I
cute.
do. Yeah.
Yeah, I was trying to think of, because I could say like toys I collected or this or that, but I was trying to think of like more commonplace things that you wouldn't really think too much of. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Bottle caps. I remember being really little and like those root beer bottles.
Mm.
Like when my dad would have one of those bottled root beers, I forgot what brand it was, but he would give me the bottle caps. And I had like this whole big collection. We had like a play set and I would stick them in the bottom and I had like this garden of bottle caps.
That's cute.
Yeah. And I remember my brother collected coins and had like those state quarter, like one of those booklets to put the state quarters in. And like my
Mm-hmm.
grandma and grandpa would just be like scouring for the states he was missing. Um,
Dude, I do. I remember that. That was like
yeah.
totally a thing. I think my family used to try to do that too. And yeah, everybody would like try to help you. Like, I
Yep.
found this one for you. Like, oh my gosh, so
And
sweet.
then and then my little sister was kind of like Crumb. She collected rocks. Oh my goodness. There's a whole bag of them in our closet because we shared a room at one point. I tried to lift that thing out of there and I couldn't.
Awesome. Yeah, I was never a rock collector. I like every once in a while, like when we went to like Lake Superior and stuff, where like the beaches are literally like all rocks. I
Oh
would
yeah.
like bring a few back, but then I'd like lose them and forget about them. I
Yeah.
never like actively collected.
Our next
Yeah.
topic, would you want to
Oh,
say what our
yes.
next experiment is going to be?
Yes, it is. Yes, I will say. This month in May, we are going to do Rainbow Bridge, which is the colored fire.
We're both pyros, so
Yeah,
get
we
excited.
are. So hopefully we don't. Hopefully we keep the fire
Contain the
contained.
flames. Yes.
Yeah, don't know how we're gonna do it yet, but we're gonna figure it out and we're gonna make a video about it. It's gonna be fun.
Yes. And if we have to go to the ER, we'll show pictures too.
Yeah, we'll show pictures of our wounds.
Okay, moving on to one of our last things we're going to talk about. So, I already said that my favorite character is Chrome, but Meg, who is your favorite character?
I feel like did
Did
we
you
actually
already
talk about
say?
this? I can't remember if we talked about it in the first episode or not, but
I
my
don't know.
favorite character is Senku.
Yes, and you'll
Uh,
notice from like the art for our episodes for Dr. Stone, we portray ourselves as those two guys.
mhm.
But there's more reason behind that than just they're our favorites. It's actually because we share a lot of things in common with them.
Yes, we do. Um, yeah, Senku, honestly, just like a lot of the things, there were multiple times when we were watching episodes and I would say something and Senku would literally say the exact thing the next second, like word for word. That
Yep.
happened so many times. It also just like, I don't know, his personality of just being straightforward and like choosing logic over emotions. Not definitely I wouldn't say I do that to the extent that he does. Like I would say I'm a little bit nicer, maybe.
Yes.
Um
You
and
smoothed out those rough edges.
definitely not as smart as him. I know
No one's as
things
smart as
about
he is.
one topic and he like knows everything and I'm very impressed by that. Um but yeah, I feel like we'll talk about it more. Be like,
Yes, for
yes,
sure.
I relate to him in that way and whatever.
We'll
But
bring
what
this
about
up as the
you?
show. Yes, I
Yeah.
I kind of relate to Chrome. One, because if I cosplayed a gender bent version of him, I wouldn't have to change too much about myself. And I'm literally
True.
wearing the color blue that he wears all the time. Um, but Meg, you had said once that he's like me because he just like gets an idea in his head and just does it. Um,
Yeah.
I kind of like jump into things because I'm a bit impatient. I'm not impulsive, but I can be impatient. Um, but I also like I try to have an outlook on life like he does, where you're just sort of like, oh, this thing is so cool. Let's go pursue that. Or I want to try this thing because I saw you do it and it looks awesome. Um, and I also, I don't know, he doesn't stay angry for long, and it is so easy to just like anger fizzles out of my body as soon as somebody's nice to me. So
Yeah, that's so we like Senku and Chrome. They're the best. And we are planning a cosplay
yeah,
of gender bended versions of them, but
yes,
we have
for sure.
yet to pick a con
We need to
to
find
go
one with
to.
more voice actors from the
Yeah,
show.
yeah. And I need to finish school.
Yes, yeah. All right, let's go to the outro.
Yeah. All right. Oh, perfect. Do you want to do it?
Yes, please. We have the same favorite line from the beginning after Kohaku introduced herself when Senku says, "'Cause nothing's as illogical or prone to trouble as a romantic entanglement." Amen, brother.
Yes. I felt that line.
I felt it in my soul.
Yeah. And then what did we learn in this episode?
You can't kill science or progress.
hmm Who pushed the story forward in this episode?
Kohaku for introducing Senku to her village.
Yeah. Honestly, when the village gets introduced, I'm like, yes, this is
That's the turning
awesome.
point. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Well, we are out of time because we're on Zoom with a 40-minute time limit. And we
Yes.
will be back next week with another episode.
All right. See you next week.
Bye.